Hi everybody, and this is the Nintendo coverage on E3. First of all, we have the Nintendo World Championships, and that was a very awesome thing. The people haven't seen a Nintendo World Championship in a long time, and I'm not a Nintendo fanboy, but like I said, I grew up with Sega as a kid in the '80s, but I did watch the movie The Wizard, and it was about a kid gamer who. Played by Fred Savage, who had a little brother who was a gaming genius. He was a savant, supposedly, and he was the wizard. And they went on a crazy kooky road trip with a little girl across the country to get his little brother into competition and play at the Nintendo World Championship. So, okay, Star Fox Zero looks really good. The graphics look good on the Wii U. The transformation, and you have all these cool like stellar battles and such. Now I know that you're gonna say something right now, and if you saw the E3 conference like I did, I'm gonna hold that later. So because I'm just gonna go off on a tangent. So let me just get through this Nintendo thing, and then I'm gonna have my overall. I'll address that on my overall overview of all the shows of who did well and what went wrong. All right, let's move on. Okay. Anger, nerd rage is about to happen. Zelda Triforce Heroes. Zelda, that looked interesting. It was a 3DS game. This 3DS game looked really cool. You see, it's like a 3-op, kind of like a co-op, but it's a 3-op, so you can play with 3 players. So maybe I'm sure kids are gonna have fun playing that with 3 buddies or 2 of their buddies, and you play along. I'm sure that's gonna be fun for kids. The one that looked really good was Zelda Hyrule Warriors Legends. That looked really cool. The graphics look great. You see Link in not in such a cartoony form, but more of a realistic, like the way we've seen them in more current art. Okay, and here's another game on 3DS. They were just announcing a lot of 3DS games. I'm surprised. The 3DS is still making money. They didn't mention a lot on the Wii U. Metroid Prime Federation Force. Okay. So when this game released, a lot of the fans are upset. There's even a petition right now to not have this game be made, but I believe that this game is okay if this game comes out because, developers gotta learn from their mistakes. The big problem I see with this Metroid game is when you see the gameplay footage, it looks like a 4 co-op kind of game. And you see these people dressed up in like Samus outfits from Metroid, and they're shooting at these aliens jumping off of drop ships, and they're trying to make Metroid like Halo. Now it looked like Halo. It was a Metroid game trying to be Halo. No, that doesn't work. Metroid does not you don't ever see open skies in Metroid. Metroid was a labyrinth dungeon crawler. I think that formula still holds true even to the 3D games. But I remember in the side scrollers, Metroid was in these labyrinth dungeon-like places, side scrolling across like Castlevania, and when you reached open sky, it was always just to kind of grab a breath of fresh air and kind of like just to change it up a little, and then you go back into the labyrinth again. I think that's where they messed up. They messed up the overall essence of Metroid. Metroid was always this claustrophobic dungeon kind of frantic shooter of a game that was always seen in the retro games. When I say Metroid, I mean I remember there are these crazy mazes, and when I saw the footage, I'm sure all the like all the hardcore, much more hardcore fans than me that are into Metroid, they'll tell you better than I can articulate why they hate it. But I think the major thing where they messed up was that it wasn't in a labyrinth, and the characters did not look cool. The graphics didn't look alien-like enough. It looked like they were trying to do a Halo thing, and it doesn't work like that. You gotta make it. Metroid is always a singular person experience. Fire Emblem, I did play Fire Emblem on an earlier game on the Nintendo Game Boy Color, I think, and I did play. I think I played one of the versions of Fire Emblem there, and it was really good. It was kind of like Nintendo's answer to Sega's Shining Force. So, and that's why I kind of liked that game too. But Fire Emblem had really cool characters. I really liked the characters. I just wish I had more Nintendo stuff to play it on. Xenoblade, that looked really cool. Kind of an anime, kind of like Gundam. So, you know, that kind. If you're interested in that, you know, you got Xenoblade coming out, I believe, on the Wii U. Yoshi's Woolly World. Okay, it's Yoshi and it's wool, it's yarn. So it's kind of like Kirby's Yarn Adventures. I think it, or I don't know if it's. Correct me, I'm not a Nintendo know-it-all. Just go ahead and correct me on below if I'm on the comments. Please be kind, because you know I'm just, you know, but there's this Yoshi's Woolly World, and I know there was a Kirby's Adventure, a Yarn Adventure or something. With, I know they did Yarn or maybe it was called Yarn Kirby, and that was it. But correct me if I'm wrong, please. There's a Mario Luigi Paper Jam Bros. So that looked cool. I think that looked really cool. Adding that little Paper Mario with 3D Mario, and then you see Luigi. I thought that was really cool. I think that's gonna be a fun game. Mario Tennis Ultra Smash. It looks like a kind of like a fun, just non-serious tennis game, ping pong match, kind of. And you see the characters grow and they become giants, and then they can slam the tennis ball like a really exaggerated kind of Mario Tennis, and it's just fun. I remember playing that on the Game Boy. That was fun. And then Super Mario Maker, which you know, again, I like making things, making levels is really cool. They got a game where you can allow you to remake the levels in Mario, or you can create your own levels in Mario, and I think that's cool. Kind of reminds me of Little Big Planet. That's like a lot like Little Big Planet, but I think that's all it is, though. It's just you gotta make your own levels. You don't really play any Mario levels, so I think it's just here's the app, work with it on your console. Okay, but I'm sure people are gonna have fun, and then you can run that app, and then it'll run the game. You know, and then like, you know, and that will be the game. You know, whatever levels you design will be the game. So I think, I just don't know how it's gonna be. Is it like when you enter the game? I think it's probably gonna be like, okay, here's the tools, make your levels. Here's the tutorials to make your levels, and then you press some kind of play button, and then you can actually run the game. You can play your own game, and maybe you can post them up into the web, and you can post up your levels and have other players around the world rate your level designs, which was again like what Little Big Planet did with Sony. So that is Nintendo. I noticed there was a lot of I have comments on each side for Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft, and just my own general I'm gonna have my final thoughts video, and that's gonna go and talk about what are my final thoughts and how on the E3 altogether, and how well each company did representing themselves. Okay, so thanks if you stayed with me this long. I appreciate it. Thanks.